Welcome to Wallace State Community College. This is an historic day for Wallace State, and we are delighted that you have joined us for this ribbon cutting and grand opening of our newest $8.8 million facility, the Center for Welding Technology and the Innovation Center. Additionally, we are also very proud to announce an amazing new capital investment of $48,825,500. There will be 2 new facilities to be constructed and 1 to be renovated and expanded. You'll see them on the boards displayed over here to my left. Our theme for today is rightfully entitled, Building the Workforce, because as one of Alabama's most ambitious community colleges, that is our mission. It is to build the workforce of the future, Governor Ivey, in keeping with your Success Plus plan. We have so many special guests with us today. Representing Congressman Robert Adeholt, we have Jennifer Ray and Carson Clark. We have Nick Moore with the GOAT office, Alabama GOAT office here with the Governor of Alabama. We have members of the Alabama legislature, Representative Randall Shedd, Representative Corey Harbison, Representative David Standridge, Representative Tim Wadsworth. We have members of the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees. Representing Chancellor Baker of the Alabama Community College System are Mark Salmon, Chief Facilities Officer, and Zach Lee, Governmental Affairs. We have Director Kenneth Boswell of ADECA, Mayor Kenneth Nail of the City of Hanceville, members of the Hanceville City Council, Mayor Woody Jacobs of the City of Coleman, and members of the Coleman City Council, Mayor Richard Phillips of the City of Oneonta, members of the Oneonta City Council, members of the Blount County Commission, members of the Coleman County Commission, school superintendents, Dr. Shane Barnett of the Coleman County School System, Mr. Kyle Koloff of the Coleman City School System, and Mr. Rodney Green of the Blount County School System. Coleman City and Coleman County Industrial Development Board members, Coleman Economic Development Dale Greer and his team, Coleman County Economic Development Director Matthew Kinsland and his team, Blount County Economic Development Director Don Mitchell and his team, Coleman Area Chamber of Commerce President Joey Orr and the Coleman Area Chamber of Commerce Board members, Coleman Tourism President Hugh Stump and the Tourism Board members, Williams Blackstock Architects, CC and Litchfield Architects, and so many more. So for those of you I didn't name, please forgive me in advance, okay? Thank you to each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy days to celebrate this momentous occasion with us. We are blessed to have so many of our industry partners present today, and I want to introduce them also. We have Tim Culpepper, Coleman Electric Cooperative and his team, Austin Feldman and David McMahon of Lincoln Electric, Tom Daniel with YKTA, Matt Bird, Jake Wilburn, Luke McCain of Holston Gas, Brandon Pruitt of Haas Automation, Shan Bell of Benton Nissan, Ron Tolkien and Dylan Taylor of Jim Burke Automotive Group, Lee Leahy of Jack Ingram Automotive Group, and representing Nissan North America, Jay Purdy, Justin Crutchfield, Trey Stewart, Shane Williams, Gary Torgerson, and finally, representing our businesses that we have incubated are Lance and Sandra Self of Zero RPM, Dim Lalison of Sequence Health, and David and Patricia Branscombe of DV Technologies. Welcome and thank you to each of you for being here today. I am incredibly humbled and honored to introduce our DS guests and speakers for today. Governor Ivey of the great state of Alabama. Lieutenant Governor. Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth of the great state of Alabama. Senator Garland Gudger of District 4 and our local legislative delegation. Representative Danny Garrett of House District 44. Jason Smith of Lincoln Electric. Anna Reese, a Wallace State robotics welding student. And Dale Benton, owner of the Benton Automotive Group, Benton Nissan Group. The most important people here today are our students. You will see them around the room and all throughout the building assisting with today's event. If they'll just raise their hands, allow me to recognize the students and faculty of welding technology, advanced machining, and automotive technology, along with our Wallace State ambassadors, Wallace State cheerleaders. Just raise your hands for a moment, please. Those of you who could fit into this room. I hope you'll take a moment to make yourself known to them and to learn a little bit more about them while you're here today, because this is about them. Long considered the crown jewel of the Alabama community college system, Wallace State is well known for our tradition of excellence as a learning-centered college that is recognized as one of the top 120 community colleges in the United States of America. And we're also ranked by Southern Business and Development magazine as one of the top 3 community colleges in the Southeast for workforce development, along with many other accolades. It is because of this college's phenomenal success and our emphasis on preparing students for the workforce that we are here today. This new Center for Welding Technology is the largest and most state-of-the-art training facility in the Southeast. It includes 7 robotic welding stations, 9 virtual welding simulators, 81 welding booths, 20 grinding booths, a fabrication area with 2 welders, a plasma CNC table, pipe welding equipment, and an NC3 certification center. As you tour, you will see the banners of many of our partners who are incredibly important to our program's success. Additionally, the new Center for Innovation is designed to incubate businesses and to create jobs in this region. You are present in one of the Innovation Center's 6 incubator pods. The pod next door is being equipped as a fabrication lab to support our entrepreneurs. We began incubating entrepreneurs over a decade ago, starting with 0 RPM. And we are proud of the hundreds of jobs and new technologies created by 0 RPM, Sequence Health, and DB Technologies in this community. This Innovation Center is projected to create 98 jobs and $25 million in revenue for our area within the first 8 years. We thank David Donovan and CC and Litchfield Architects for designing this wonderful facility. ADECA Director Kenneth Boswell and the Appalachian Regional Commission have been critical to the success of Wallace State Community College. We are here today in this building because of the investments ARC has made in our students and in this college. We acquired an ARC grant to expand welding in 2009 that allowed us to accommodate a growing program by obtaining mobile units to stand up and to redesign the curriculum. Today, we're cutting the ribbon on the Center for Welding Technology and the Innovation Center for Business Incubation because we leveraged those ARC funds into a $2 million grant from the U.S. Department of Commerce's Economic Development Administration to fund the business incubator portion of this building. We are extremely appreciative of Congressman Adderholt, whose commitment to Wallace State's efforts in workforce and economic development helped us to acquire that federal grant from EDA. Additionally, we received an ARC planning grant in 2021 to conduct a feasibility study on the need for skilled workforce and training in autonomous and electric vehicles. And that planning grant was leveraged to the ARC Power Grant of $1.2 million, which led to the expansion of our automotive and diesel technology programs and curriculum to include EVs. Jennifer Ray and Carson Clark, who are representing Congressman Adderholt today, please express our gratitude to Congressman Adderholt for the $1.5 million appropriation that he's currently shepherding through Congress on this very date for EV training infrastructure. Thank you, Director Boswell and ADECA and ARC, because our success would not have been possible without your investment. We're also here to announce 3 additional new campus facility projects. I will draw your attention to the design boards mounted on the wall to my left. The first is a $4.2 million renovation and expansion of our machine tool technology program to accommodate a greater emphasis on CNC and precision machining along with tool and die. They are demanded by the automotive, aerospace, and biomedical advanced manufacturing sectors in our region. We have many partners, but our partnership with Haas Automation has been critical to enabling Wallace State to produce the most advanced machinists in this region. The second project is a new $9.6 million facility for automotive technology that is designed to accommodate the transformation of the automotive industry to electric and autonomous vehicles. $9 million was provided for this project by our Chancellor and our Board of Trustees, along with $612 in federal grant funds. And we are so grateful for the investments in Wallace State. We must not only train the newest generation of automotive workers with EV technology, but we must also train for the infrastructure necessary to support electric vehicles. In partnership with Mercedes, we developed the Mercedes Tech Co-op program many years ago, and our newest partners are Benton Nissan and Nissan North America, whom you will hear from shortly. Thank you, Dale Benton. We also enjoy a tremendous partnership with Coleman Electric Cooperative. Tim Culpepper with the Coleman Electric Cooperative, along with the Tennessee Valley Authority, have committed $44,000 for 2 electric vehicle charging stations for our EV infrastructure, with plans for another in the near future. Thank you to Coleman Electric Cooperative and TVA. And finally, our largest project is a $35 million STEM Gateway building, which will house all of our first-year students in mathematics, English, humanities, speech, chemistry, as well as our culinary program with a restaurant, a digital learning center, and our tutoring center. We are grateful, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth, to Alabama Senate and Representative Garrett. We are grateful to Alabama's House of Representatives. And Senator Gudger, we are especially grateful to our local legislative delegation for the $15 million supplemental appropriation for this facility, along with another $3.6 million granted by Chancellor Baker and the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees. That deserves a round of applause. We call it a STEM Gateway building because the vast majority of our majors at Wallace State are in STEM fields. And the primary courses offered in this building are either directly STEM or the gateway to a STEM major. Chancellor Baker has continuously challenged our colleges to be laser focused on student success. Wallace State student outcomes are among the best in the nation, and they demonstrate that creating learning environments where students can collaborate and connect leads to greater student success and completion. The STEM Gateway building will completely transform this campus, as you can see by the 4th board, because the 6 1960s era buildings will be replaced by one modern, efficient, and aspirational learning complex. We are very appreciative of our architects, Joel Blackstock and Stephen Allen, and the Williams Blackstock architect teams for designing these 3 new projects. Our chancellor was called away today, but I want you to know that Chancellor Jimmy Baker has led the Alabama Community College system since 2016. And during that time, the system's 24 colleges have experienced unprecedented change, growth, and success as the result of his unwavering commitment to transform the Alabama Community College system into a powerhouse of workforce and economic development. From the creation of the Skills for Success program that is training thousands of Alabamians in every corner of this state, a one-of-a-kind model in this nation, to the unprecedented growth and dual enrollment for every high school student, to reimagining what every college can accomplish through capital renewal, all funded by our Alabama legislature. This has been the most transformative period during my career in the Alabama Community College system. Chancellor Baker insists daily that every one of our colleges be the very best. And I want to thank Chancellor Baker for the significant investment in Wallace State's future and in our ability to meet the future workforce needs of this region. Now, I'm honored to introduce our speakers. Our first speaker is our very own Governor Kay Ivey. Governor Kay Ivey is a history maker, the first girl state alumnus to be elected to an Alabama constitutional office, the first Republican elected to state treasurer since Reconstruction, the first Republican woman to hold the office of lieutenant governor after being elected in 2010, the first Republican lieutenant governor to be elected to the office, and the first lieutenant governor to be elected to a full term after taking over as governor due to a vacancy in the governor's office. Kay Ivey has been governor of the great state of Alabama since 2017, and she was rightfully recognized by the Boy Scouts of America as a Golden Eagle for her scout-like service and for being a trailblazer for women. Please join me in welcoming our outstanding governor of the great state of Alabama, Governor Kay Ivey.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carol Rich, for that warm welcome. Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth, Vice Chancellor Price, other distinguished guests, and of course, our faculty and students. Go Lions! It's an honor to be a part of this history-making day here at Wallace State. You have a beautiful campus in the middle of an equally beautiful community. And today's ceremony highlights the placement of a bright new jewel in the Wallace State's crown. Wallace State Community College is truly the embodiment of your slogan of one door to opportunity, with an extensive array of training for the most popular and well-paying careers in Alabama. For anyone who wants to acquire the latest in-demand skills of Alabama's 2023 workforce, their career path to succeed can begin right here at Wallace State. The major investment in state-of-the-art classrooms and teaching technology to be unveiled today is transformational for Alabama students. Together, the new Center for Welding Technology and Innovation Center boasts over 30,000 square feet of the most advanced, hands-on, and virtual training labs for welding and metal fabrication, as well as unique staging areas to nurture entrepreneurs in an innovative environment. And Wallace State's commitment to delivering the most capable education and training opportunities doesn't stop there. We're also celebrating today the investment of over $48 million for new and expanded instruction in areas of automotive technology, precision machining, and STEM. Folks, we are literally standing on ground zero in the campaign to equip new Alabama workers and those who are choosing to re-enter the workforce with the skills to succeed. The state of Alabama has broken many barriers in attracting high-tech industries to our communities, but we still have a way to go to keep pace with the demand for the best trained workers. If you follow the news, you've likely heard me talk about Alabama's record-setting low unemployment rate. It currently sits at 2.1%, the lowest ever in state history. And while this is a historic milestone worth celebrating, our job to achieve full employment and increase our labor force participation all across Alabama is not yet done. There are presently some 50,000 unemployed Alabamians and 120,000 open jobs in the state. Providing pathways for them to join the workforce is a major priority. Alabama's 24 community colleges are on the front lines in delivering the training many of these workers need to get to work. And if I may quote Alabama Community College System Chancellor Jimmy Baker, who summed up this point quite well, quote, "The community college system is the best vehicle to change the state because you open doors to everyone who wants to improve their quality of life." And I certainly want to thank Chancellor Baker and Vice Chancellor Price for your hard work and dedication to this task. Wallace State, with Alabama's fourth largest community college enrollment and ranked second in the South in workforce development, is a shining example of the power of our community-based colleges. You have it all right here in one campus. Wallace State also contributes to the local economy, supporting over 3,000 jobs in its four-county service area. And your president, Dr. Carol Lewis, understands the tremendous potential as well as the positive impacts of our community colleges. And furthermore, as a member of our Alabama STEM Council, she has a voice in ensuring our state's future working professionals have the opportunity to learn STEM-based skills to transition into successful jobs upon graduation. Thanks, Vicki, for all of your efforts. This morning, I want to congratulate all the administrators, faculty, and staff of Wallace College who have made this institution and its mission one of the most impactful in the state. North Alabama is in need of more high-tech workers, and I look forward to all the benefits this new facility will offer in expanding Alabama's highly trained workforce. Now, let's get to it. And may God continue to bless each of you in the great state of Alabama.
Thank you, Governor Ivey, for those wonderful remarks. We're so appreciative of your service as governor of the great state of Alabama and for your visit to Wallace State today. I'm also honored to have the opportunity to introduce our Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Alabama. Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth is a family man. He's a farmer, he's a business owner, and he's a Christian who is called to public service. First elected to the Alabama House of Representatives in 2014, he has been a consistent champion for expanding pre-K and improving higher education and K-12, including our community colleges. Mindful of his self-imposed legislative term limits and a promise to his constituents, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth declared his candidacy for the office of Lieutenant Governor in 2018, and he is now serving his second term. During his 2023 term, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth was the chief architect and proponent of the largest tax cut in Alabama history, a $300 million reduction in the state sales tax on groceries, and he led the charge in renewing the Alabama Jobs Act and growing Alabama to assure that Alabama remains competitive in recruiting high-paying 21st century jobs. Please join me in welcoming Alabama's outstanding Lieutenant Governor, Will Ainsworth.
Well, good morning. Great to be with y'all. I love Wallace State, love Coleman County. Great to be in North Alabama. I grew up in Boaz. Got a lot of great memories here of playing basketball back in high school and coming through Wallace State. First, want to say this to Governor Ivey. I mean, we're fortunate. You look at what she got done with reauthorizing our incentives, with being the quarterback of the game plan for Alabama, with recruiting industry, with having record growth in our state. She gets workforce development. She supports our community colleges. She supports our businesses and does an incredible job as governor. Let's give her a huge round of applause for her leadership. Thank you so much, Governor. Next, I want to brag on y'all's president, Dr. Karlowicz. You know, got to know her first when I, was in the House of Representatives. And I want to say this, she's one of my favorite presidents in the community college system. Just her passion, her energy, and just her knowledge of what she needs to do to make Wallace State successful. I mean, she's a true champion and advocate for Wallace State, and she gets what we need to do to make sure people are trained for the jobs of today, but also tomorrow. Let's give her a round of applause for her leadership. Thank you so much for what you do. Chancellor does a great job. When y'all see him, make sure to tell him thank you. He does a tremendous job. Congressman Addercole, obviously been a champion for this area for a long time. And, want to brag on two great friends, too. Senator Garland Gudger, Representative Randall Shedd. I mean, you talk about two guys that fight for this area and want to make sure they get done, what they can for Coleman County. Let's give them a round of applause for everything y'all do. Thank y'all so much. To talk a little bit about Alabama, right now our economy's on fire. We're seeing record growth in our state, record budgets. People continue to move here from all over the U.S. And, fortunately I get to talk to them about why did you pick Alabama? It's because of our low taxes, the quality of life, the great opportunity out there. And Wallace State is going to play a role. And our goal is simple. We want Alabama to be the workforce engine of the Southeast. Fortunately, I get to talk to businesses, and businesses continue to locate here. And one thing you never see a headline, businesses don't leave Alabama. But one of the things I continue to hear is they said, Will, the number one limiting factor to growth is what? It's people. If you can help us get more people trained. And so that's why under the leadership of Governor Ivey, leadership of the House and Senate, making sure we make investments, in what we're doing. You look on that wall, Center for Advanced Machining, Advanced Automotive Technology, STEM, right? Look at STEM, 40% of our jobs will be displaced in the next 10 years because of technology. You better believe STEM's important in technology. And so we're investing in the future of our students. The purpose of education is to get people ready for a job, right? I believe everybody's got a God-given ability. Everybody's got a passion. The purpose of education is to get them ready for a job. And so great to be here today. Honored to be your Lieutenant Governor. We're going to continue to invest in education and getting people trained for the jobs of tomorrow. And I just want y'all to know, really proud of Wallace State and great to be here today to support y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth. I always like to talk about Representative Shedd. He's always first to tell you he's glad Wallace State is in his district. So we're proud we're in your district as well, Representative. I'm honored also to introduce our senator. Senator Garland Gudger is a family man. He has distinguished himself as a business owner and as a community advocate. He is the second generation owner of the award-winning Southern Accents Architectural Antiques. His life in public service began in 2004 as the youngest member in the history of the city of Coleman to be elected to the Coleman City Council, where he eventually served as president. First elected to Alabama Senate in 2018, Senator Gudger is now serving his second term, where he chairs the Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development Committee, and he is a member of the Senate Finance and Taxation Education Committee. Here, for us, he's kind of a rock star, but we know him as the Wallace State Lion because he's the son of our very own Dr. Garland Gudger Sr., the first Dean of Students at Wallace State Community College. Please join me in welcoming our Senator, Garland Gudger.
What a great day for Coleman County. It's fun when you go to these announcements, and most of the time you have one ribbon cutting, I guess you would say. Today we have 5. You know, that's pretty amazing in the history of Wallace State, and I'll tell you why just in a minute, Dr. Karlowicz, but I'm excited to be here. Most of these announcements, like I said, we have 5, the Center for Welding Technology, the Innovation Center for Entrepreneurship and Business, and then 3 campus projects that we've been waiting on for years and years to come. Wallace State is the crown jewel of Alabama's community college system. I truly feel that way. I've heard the chancellor say that. He might not want me to say that, but I've heard him say it, so I'm going to say it back. We love this particular school. We're proud of it. From this administration, the teachers, the support staff continues to find the right formula that makes the state of Alabama and the students that leave here prepared for the state-of-the-art jobs that they have the opportunity to obtain once they leave this campus. The bar is set so high for excellence. It starts at the top and comes down. And President Karlowicz, thank you for all that you do for setting that bar and for running that through the administration and the support staff and all the way to the students. But as we expect greatness from the students here as they leave, you feel that in the workforce. And Mr. Benton, you're going to feel that in the workforce as you're hopefully grabbing a lot of these people, young gals and girls, when they're getting out of here. I've been honored to be able to see the beginning and the humbled roots of Wallace State when it started. As she said, my father was the first dean of students here at Wallace State. A lot of you don't know, my mother was the first business professor to be hired at Wallace State and helped create the business department here at Wallace State. So as a child, I sat around the dinner table to hear what potential Wallace State could become in years and years to come. And then now being an adult, now being a senator, and having my hand, that's being able to go into with our legislative team to be able to pull and be able to make projects like this happen. I feel like I'm bridging the gap for what my father's dream was for Wallace State, and now it's becoming reality. So I'm thankful that I was able to be in that particular family. Nothing can happen with yourself in politics. It's all a team effort. And if anybody says in politics, I say they're not telling the full truth. There's a team that always helps. And that's also with our local teams. But my personal team at the state delegation are 3 gentlemen that's in our state delegation. Randall Shedd on the front row, Tim Wadsworth right here with us, and then Corey Harbison. Without those 3 men being as diligent and pushing as the legislature as hard as possible to be here today, we would not be able to have the funding to be able to be in this auditorium today. And if any of you know, I like to call Dr. Karlowicz the coach of the basketball team. And if you ever seen a play that the coach of a basketball team comes out when they're behind, it's a full court press. She doesn't wait till the 4th quarter. She comes out on the first play of each game when it's having to deal with our state delegation. And she puts a full court press on us to make sure we know what her goals are, what Wallace State's goals are, and how we can obtain those goals for all of the students before they leave Wallace State's campus. I'm going to start off with the same sentence that I started with. I'm going to finish up with the first sentence, and that is, what a great day for Wallace State, Coleman County, the entire north central region of Alabama, and the state of Alabama. I'm thankful to be here today, and thank you for allowing me to be your senator.
Thank you, Senator Gudger. I'm honored to have the opportunity to introduce Representative Danny Garrett. Representative Danny Garrett is a businessman with a distinguished career in multiple industries as a CPA, tax analyst, and chief financial officer. Having served elected offices in both Trussville City Council and Board of Education, he was first elected in 2014 as state representative of House District 44. Now, in his second term, he brings his finance expertise to the Alabama House of Representatives as chairman of the powerful House Ways and Means Education Committee. Please join me in welcoming Representative Danny Garrett.
Thank you very much, Governor Ivey, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth, Dr. Karlowitz. It's an honor to be with you today and to celebrate with you what's going on today. And I want to echo what's been said previously. And if you don't know me, because I'm not from this district, but I don't really say things I don't mean. I try not to anyway. But I do want to brag on your local delegation, because your guys are advocating very tirelessly and persistently for you guys, and they do it in the right way. So I appreciate the efforts of all the guys you mentioned, Senator Gudger, Representative Sheds, and Representative Wadsworth. I don't see Representative Carbison here, but you have a great delegation working for you. They're well respected, and that goes a long way in Montgomery. I also want to say that we are fortunate in Alabama to have the leadership of Governor Ivey and Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth, and their desire to get out in front of where we're going. That's key to be successful in businesses. You got to get ahead of the issue, get ahead of the problem. And Governor Ivey has seen that vision through her. I think one of the most important efforts we have right now is the Innovate Alabama group that's going on, that's looking at where's Alabama going in the future economy as we transition to a knowledge-based economy, as we move to a different world, a different economic platform. Getting in front of that is important, and her vision to create an innovation commission several years ago has led to Innovate Alabama, which is a group that's looking at that transition to 21st century economy. And I'm honored to serve on that board. Also, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth has the Lieutenant Governor's 21st Century Workforce Commission. I'm honored to serve on that group, and that's looking at how do we get into the 21st century and provide the jobs. Right now, if all we did was to train the jobs in existence today, that in 10 years we're not going to have the workforce. So we have to get in front of these issues. We're fortunate to have that vision and leadership here. I also am honored to chair the Small Business Commission, which represents small businesses all across the state, which is the backbone of our economy. And labor participation is very, very critical and the most important issue we have facing our state. And what I see here happening today really embodies all of the goals and aspirations of the Innovation Corporation, Innovate Alabama, of the Lieutenant Governor's Workforce Commission, and of the Small Business Commission. You know, the Innovation Corporation Commission report had 4 pillars to it. And one was we have to close the education gap in Alabama throughout the state. And that's very, very critical. The second was we have to develop broadband throughout the state. And I see Representative Shedd, Director Boswell here, the 2 men who are really driving the broadband efforts that are going all over our state. It's so critical to important. The other is how do we incent and what do we need to do to attract the businesses here for this new economy in the future? And the fourth is recreation, because in the 21st century economy, people want a quality of life and they want to enjoy recreation. Alabama is one of the most blessed states in the country with natural resources for recreation. So what I see happening here is we're looking at those 4 pillars. I see, and what I see on the wall here addresses all of those. I think the Lieutenant Governor's Workforce Commission, how do we develop a pathway for students in Alabama to succeed in this new economy? And I see that happening here today. It embodies all of that. On the way up here this morning, I listened to a radio talking head, which is not my favorite thing to do, but all they did this morning was bash electric vehicles and talk about how ridiculous, how stupid this, we're doing all this kind of stuff. Here's the deal, and I say this all the time. We're not talking about a mandated Green New Deal that we're moving to. We're talking about where is the market going. And what we know right now is the automotive industry in the country is investing $260 billion in the development of electric vehicles. If the market takes us there, we certainly want these manufacturers who have come to Alabama to stay here. We want them to expand here. We want Alabama to be in front of that issue. So as that market shift, as we watch all of that, it's important that we stay ahead of the curve, and I see that happening here today as well. So somebody mentioned, I think Governor Ivey mentioned earlier, that we have to execute. We have a lot of great plans, but the important thing is we have to execute. The community college system is very, very critical to that. Dr. Karlowitz, your team is very, very important. I'm honored to be a part of that as a member of the legislature. As Chair of the Education Budget Committee, we look forward to supporting these efforts and your success as you continue to grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Garrett. You mentioned broadband, and because of the emphasis in broadband and the work that Coleman Electric Cooperative has done with Sprout Fiber, in November we're hoping to cut the ribbon on our newest project, and that's a community learning center in the town of Arley in Winston County, and our legislative delegation has led the way in that regard. I'm honored now to introduce one of our partners to you. As I've said, they're so important to what we as community colleges do within our mission. Lincoln Electric has been a long-standing and very important partner to Wallace State's welding program. As you will see from the dominant red equipment all throughout the building, Jason Smith has enjoyed a prosperous career with Lincoln Electric since 2004, where he is now the corporate manager of technical training. Please join me in welcoming Jason Smith.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Doctor, and thank you to everyone at Wallace State for allowing Lincoln Electric to be here today. I've been in the welding business for 19 years, and of those years, 16 of them have been on the education and training side. So I've traveled the world, I've traveled the U.S. and looked at many different welding schools and facilities, and I can tell you this is a top-notch facility. So congratulations. By the show of hands in here, how many people have welded before? That's a good amount, more than I expected. Now, how many people have been affected by welding in their everyday lives? Everybody should have their hands up, right? You know, whether it's the welded pipe that brought the water in for your shower this morning, whether it was the car you drove, or the bridge you rode across, or the roller coaster ride you took your family to over the summer. You know, welding is all around us. There's a constant need for welding, and there's a constant need for welders willing to do the work. According to the American Welding Society, there's over 360,000 welders needed in the welding industry by 2027. There are needs in all welding industry segments, like offshore, pipeline, power generation, structural, general fabrication, and automotive, all of which are here in Alabama. That's why events like today are so important. Wallace State sees the need for welders and is consistently looking to find ways to address the manufacturing needs of today. I commend Wallace State for pushing their programs to the next level to ensure their students are workforce ready. One thing Wallace State Community College has done is become a Lincoln Electric Education Partner School. This allows the college to certify their instructors and their students to welding industry standards using the same curriculum that we use at our welding school in Cleveland, Ohio. And that welding school has been around since 1917. As technology changes and the curriculum is updated, Wallace State's able to teach that updated information to their students to make them workforce ready. Another thing Wallace State has done is create an associate's degree in robotic welding. Robotic welding is so important to U.S. manufacturing companies, and it is so important to students to have that background when they enter the workforce. I spoke with Welding Department Chair Randy Hammond earlier, and he informed me that Wallace State is the only school in Alabama to have such a degree. It's for reasons like these that Lincoln Electric's proud to have a strong partnership with Wallace State Community College and continuing to collaborate with the college on future partnerships around robotic welding that will support the local manufacturing community. And as of Friday, I believe, we are working with Wallace State to offer a Lincoln Electric FANUC welding robotic certificate at this facility, just like they would be at our facility in Cleveland, Ohio. So with that, stay tuned for more exciting things to come in the welding industry with Wallace State, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. Nick Moore and we have worked closely together for years, Governor Ivey, with your Success Plus plan, with the Alabama College and Career Credentialing Pathways, with our local superintendents. We've made sure that our high school to community college students leave here with a credential that has value, like our Lincoln Electric credential. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that very much. Next, I have the opportunity and the honor to introduce to you one of our students. As I said, they are the most important people on this campus. Anna Reese is not only a Wallace State alumnus and a current student, but she's also an up-and-coming professional in the welding industry. Obviously, she's a female in a non-traditional occupation, and she is leaving her mark. She's a product of the Blount County Career Technical Center welding program. Mr. Green, you heard that. She is a recipient of a scholarship from the American Welding Society, from the Alabama Automotive Manufacturers Association, and from Wallace State. She has already graduated from Wallace State's welding program, and she's employed by Radiation Shielding in Trafford. She recently returned, however, sponsored by her employer, to enroll in robotics welding. She's an outstanding and ambitious young woman. Please join me in welcoming Anna Reese.
I would like to thank our Heavenly Father and Dr. Karlowicz for the opportunity to stand before you all today. It has been an enduring journey to be the woman and welder that I am presenting as, but I cannot say that I have done it alone. The Lord has blessed me with numerous people who have believed and invested in me, but I would like to give special mention to 5 of them. One is my coworker, Mr. Perry Newton, and the other 4 are my welding instructors, Mr. Randy Hammond, Mr. Jason Anderson, Miss Melanie Patterson, and Mr. Andrew Krebs. Now I have the men and women seated behind me to thank for not only investing in me and my fellow classmates, but the generations following us. I have an 11-year-old niece who wants to be an elementary school math teacher when she grows up, and I have a 5-year-old nephew who wants to be Spider-Man. My hope for them as they grow up and begin considering where to apply to college is that they follow in my footsteps and choose Wallace State, because I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is a school not only dedicated to student success, but always finding innovative ways to improve the quality of student development. A school where they can invest their goals and ambitions and not only be guaranteed to thrive in their study of choice, but also be taught by people who have an abundance of care and considerations for their students. So thank you again to Governor Kay Ivey, Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth, Chancellor Jimmy Baker, Senior Vice Chancellor and Chief of Staff, Ms. Susan Price, Senator Garland Gudger Jr., Mr. Jason Schmidt, and Mr. Dale Benton in assisting Wallace State in the extension of resources for students and staff, present and future. Because of your contributions, Wallace State now has additional opportunities for students to receive a diverse and transformative education.
Thank you, Anna. You make us so proud. She is a leader among her student body. Lieutenant Governor, we take our commitment to diversity in the workforce seriously. And Anna, thank you for your contributions to Wallace State. Now I have the honor of introducing our final speaker to you today. There's not another entity in the state of Alabama that relies more upon symbiotic partnerships than Alabama's community colleges. We rely on our partners to tell us what they want in their talent pipeline. We rely upon them to help us to acquire the best equipment for training that talent pipeline. We rely upon them for resources and subject matter expertise. We at Wallace State are grateful for our partnership with Benton Nissan and Nissan North America, And we welcome Dale Benton and his lovely bride, Victoria, here today. They have 5 dealerships in Alabama and Tennessee. What I liked most about him, however, is that he's a community college alumnus. He played baseball at Jefferson State, at that time junior college, on baseball scholarship. He met his bride there, and he understands the importance of investing in community college students. I think we all know the phrase, your friend in the car business. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Dale Benton to the podium.
Good morning. Governor Ivey, President Karlowitz, distinguished guests, thank you for being here today as we celebrate this partnership of Benton Nissan, Nissan North America, and Wallace State Community College. Nissan is the brand of innovation, so it's perfect partnership for the Wallace State Innovation Center. The Nissan Leaf is a cornerstone of electric vehicle technology with over 8 billion electric miles driven. It requires expert technicians who are highly skilled, trained, equipped. Our future is dependent upon educating today our technicians of tomorrow. I want to thank Benton Nissan team led by Shan Bale for making this possible. Benton Nissan is proud to invest in our future by presenting to Wallace State Community College the Nissan Leaf.
He had the title to it a little bit earlier, but I took it out of his hands and passed it on so I wouldn't lose it. Thank you. Suzanne has it, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Benton, for that contribution to our future training opportunities for our students. It's important to have the best equipment, and Mr. Farmer, to train our students on. We have to have the best equipment if we're going to produce the best technicians. In closing, please join me in another round of applause for our speakers today. Thank you for sharing this momentous day with us. I especially want to thank Suzanne Harbin, Billy Rose, Jason Bynum, and their teams for preparation for today's event. It truly takes a village. We are excitedly anticipating Wallace State's future and the continued success of our students, Anna. I am inviting the speakers to join me now at the entrance to our new facility for the formal ribbon cutting. And would our guests also join us now for tours of the Center for Welding Innovation, at Welding Technology, the Innovation Center, and for refreshments and fellowship at the reception in the lobby. Thank you again for all of you for being here today.